Instead of feeling like you're constantly trying to push your way to your goal, you start to build this momentum to where you feel like you are being pulled toward your goal. And ultimately, that is what is going to make any type of goal, specifically a weight loss goal, move faster. How to lose weight fast, or at the very least, faster. Now, let me first say that, as many of us know, losing weight is not like Amazon, right? You can't say you want it at night and wake up and have it in the morning. Very annoying. I completely agree, but this is the reality, right? So today we're going to chat about how to speed things along. And let me note that this can be applied to any type of goal, whether it's a healthy eating goal, a fitness goal, a weight loss goal, or any type of goal you're working towards in your life. This very simple mindset shift can help you to get there faster. Now, when it comes to weight loss specifically, it can be a bit of a paradox, right? Because we have to be in the body that we have, that we are currently in, with a sense of love and acceptance, while at the same time wanting to change that body, right? So we have to be where we are while we also have this desire to be somewhere else. And I personally think this is part of what can make weight loss feel so hard. We get very hyper focused on the end result that we desire, and then we take all of our positive emotions and all of our positive expectations and we put them over there, right? We put them over in the result. But ultimately, we do not have control of the result. All we actually have control of is our day-to-day decisions and our day-to-day actions, right? All of our power lives in the current moment. But if you're constantly putting all of the positive emotions over at the finish line, you are left feeling a lot of negative emotions, right? A lot of frustration, impatience, self-doubt, shame, criticism, you name it. And as I've mentioned before, it can be very difficult, if not impossible, to take positive, healthy actions when they are driven by negative emotions. And the irony is, a lot of these negative emotions are self-created, right? We are creating these negative emotions within ourselves because of the conversations we are having with ourselves, about ourselves, in our head all day long. This is why I often say that if you are working towards health or fitness or weight loss goals, it is so important that you work to create a supportive internal environment. This is as important as creating a supportive external environment. Because what happens is, if we've got all of these negative conversations running in our mind all day long, creating tons of negative emotion in the body, we feel uncomfortable, right? And when we have this discomfort, we look to food, we look to snacks to create some ease, right? We look to solve for the discomfort with food, when really it's not the discomfort that we want to be solving for, it's what's causing the discomfort that we want to be solving for. And for many of us, it is these conversations that are happening in our mind all day long. And while a lot of these thought processes and conversations are simply habitual patterns, they can be super triggered, right? They can get super loud when you are putting your focus on the end result, right? When you're putting your focus on the long-term goal instead of keeping your focus on the present moment, on the day-to-day decisions, and on your daily habits and processes. This is where all of your power is going to live, because you have to remember, at the end of the day, we don't really get to control the result. We get to control our daily process. So what is the solution? How can we move forward with our weight loss goals? And even more so, how can we make our weight loss goals happen faster? It's actually very simple, but it does require a mental shift. And I've pretty much alluded to it already, right? You have to practice taking your attention off of the end goal and bring your focus into your daily habits, right? It's about refining your daily processes. This is why we hear people say that goals are less about achieving the thing and more about developing into the person that we want to become. When we shift our attention to our daily habits, to our daily actions, right, those day-to-day processes, we take our attention off of the end goal and we bring it into the present moment. And this is very powerful because change is not a destination, right? What you are trying to achieve does not live over there. Any type of change, any type of transformation, it is a decision. And every decision always happens in the present moment. And this is actually very empowering because we do have the ability to control and be in charge of what we are doing in any given moment. And so when you stop focusing on something that lives out over there and you bring it over here, you start to have real clarity and real direction. I mean, think about this. Most people want to lose weight because we believe that when we get there, we are going to feel better. But then the modalities that we use to get there are fueled with a lot of negative emotion, right? Self-loathing, self-doubt, self-criticism, self-comparison, you name it, perfectionist mentality, right? And if this is the energy that is driving your actions, even if you were to reach the goal, you're actually not going to feel any better, right? Because how you feel here is how you're going to feel there. This is why I often teach that extra weight is not the problem. It's actually a symptom. It is a messenger, and it's here to invite us into a deeper, kinder, more compassionate, understanding, loving relationships with ourselves. If you are constantly putting the feel better over there, you never get to feel better over here. And this is what you see all of the time when people are working on weight loss goals. We will often hyper focus on what we believe we need to be doing rather than thinking about who do I need to become. What type of person would be living in the way that I want to be living, and what actions would that person be taking? And then it simply becomes a daily practice, and that's where we need to keep our focus. So how do you become a person that practices the daily habits that ultimately support great health and or weight loss? And I think it's important to note that this goes beyond food and exercise, right? So much of this has to do with the relationship we have with ourselves, relationships we have in our life, our external environment, setting boundaries, your ability to make mistakes. How do you meet yourself when you slip up? Your ability to forgive yourself. All of these different things are components that ultimately are going to support you in becoming the type of person that lives in a way that aligns with being able to reach health and weight loss goals. But again, these changes truly come down to practicing small daily habits done consistently over a period of time. So you need to get clear on what you believe will help to move you forward. And I am a strong believer that on some level, all of us know 1 or 2 or 3 clear action steps that we believe would help to support us in becoming the person we want to become to help reach those health and weight loss goals, right? So number 1 is getting clear on what those daily actions are, and then consistently practicing them day after day after day. And do know that when you make a commitment to practice something consistently, you are absolutely going to run into obstacles, right? It's not just going to be a clear linear path of perfection. You're going to run into obstacles, and that is where the real work begins, because the obstacles are going to show you where you have some learning to do and where you have some growing to do and where you have some becoming to do, and that ultimately is the name of the game. Each time you make a decision that is in integrity with your commitments, you're going to feel a little bit better, right? These small actions create positive emotion, and then what happens is they create positive momentum. And as that positive momentum begins to roll, things start to happen faster. And instead of feeling like you're constantly trying to push your way to your goal, you start to build this momentum to where you feel like you are being pulled toward your goal. And ultimately, that is what is going to make any type of goal, specifically a weight loss goal, move faster. And I think it's really important to note that you want to make commitments that you are ready to take. Right? Don't set these lofty commitments for yourself that you're then not going to be able to follow through on, because that's only going to strengthen the lack of trust that you may have already developed with yourself, right? You want to start small, which I know when it comes to weight loss specifically, everybody wants it to be like fast and sexy, but we need it to be small and consistent and doable, right? So things like drinking a certain amount of water, taking a certain amount of steps, eating certain types of vegetables, or focusing on proteins and fiber throughout your day, prioritizing a certain amount of sleep each day. For a lot of people, these can be really great places to start, and making clear actions for yourself that you can commit to and then practice day in and day out. And what you're going to find when tomorrow comes, you know exactly what you need to focus on, and you know exactly what you need to practice. And you know that if you can check the boxes for those days, you are absolutely going to be moving towards that end goal. But again, the focus isn't on the end goal, it's on the present moment. And so you're either winning the day and moving yourself forward, or you're learning and you're moving yourself forward, right? If something doesn't go the way you planned, it's time to reflect and take note and try to observe what was the challenge and what would need to change and how would you need to do this in a way that works for you. Truly, it all moves you forward if you allow it to. And I know for myself, one of my favorite questions to ask myself, specifically when it comes to letting go of the end goal or letting go of certain diets or, strict rules and deprivation and restriction, is simply to meet yourself in any given moment and ask yourself, how can I take the best care of myself in this very moment, right? There's no wrong way to do it. When you're constantly answering that question for yourself, you will constantly be moving yourself forward. So in a nutshell, the secret to helping your weight loss move faster is to take your focus off of the end goal and into your daily practices and your daily habits. Because ultimately, this is where all of your power and all of your control lives, right? When we're constantly looking at the end, we feel like we're being fueled with scarcity and trying to get somewhere. But when you stay rooted into the present moment, you can be excited and empowered because your ability to make a decision at any given time, you are in complete control of. When we shift the energy that is fueling our weight loss efforts, things begin to happen more quickly and seemingly with less effort. So that, my friend, is the secret to helping your weight loss journey move even faster. If this is something that you are working on, be sure that you go down to the description box below and just download, you can get for free, my free 3-part mind body weight loss series, where we take this concept and we're just going to do a bit of a deeper dive. Okay. So if that's something that resonates with you, if that's something that you're working on, be sure to check that out. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or specific video ideas that you want me to address, leave that down in the comments below as well. And I'll see you back here next time with some more food for thought. Cheers.